It's been said that the ultimate elegance is simplicity, and yet the journey to simplicity is one of discovery and twists and turns, as our next guest well knows. Beth McCarthy Smith is CEO and founder of Simplicity Juice. And take us to the point in your story where you got excited about juice in your life. What was happening?
Well, thank you for having me, but I couldn't have been lower than low. We were having fertility problems. We lived in Chicago, and I'm one of these American girls. We've got our goals, we've got our list, and on my list was have children. And so we had already had one child, but then we started having miscarriages, and friends were like, oh, you've got to go to a fertility clinic. So we did. And the fertility clinic said, you are not going to have another baby. I couldn't believe this. I'm Irish Catholic, and certainly I would have more children. And so we went from fertility doctor to fertility doctor. We've seen the best in the country. We've done 6 IUIs, 9 IVFs, 2 additional IVFs with a surrogate. And I was not a lot of fun at a cocktail party because of what I was doing to myself. Yeah. But on my very first appointment at Northwestern, there was an ad in a magazine, and it had 2 pictures of blood. One was pretty, and one was not very pretty. And I thought, well, what do I have to do to get the pretty blood? We have to change your diet and lifestyle. No thanks. So I pushed that magazine aside and went on for the next 5 years, and we had 4 miscarriages and all the IUIs and IVFs. And then I was in Chinatown and getting bloodletting, as you do, which I had no idea what bloodletting was.
What is it? Tell us. I bet some people watching don't know either.
Oh my God. Well, it's an ancient healing modality that you literally puncture the back of your knee, and this gal starts taking out your blood. And so she looks at it, and she just said, your blood is too thick. That's why you don't have a baby. Wow. And I just went, oh, because it took me right back to 5 years previously, the good blood, bad blood. And so I found that doctor from the ad who was in a Chicago suburb. I started going there 3 times a week. And really what he does is shows you how to make these live juices, and they do clean out your colon. So I was always in sales, so I was always told I was full of and sure enough I was. But then what happened was I just started feeling better. And I just thought, wow, I am feeling a lot better. And the next week I felt better. And so I stopped worrying about the fertility and just concentrated forward on my health. And a couple weeks go by, I am feeling so good. My whole life had changed. It really had. I still didn't have the outcome that I went in wanting. But what I did have, because we can change very quickly physically. And when we do that, we change our head and our hearts. And so all I felt was just deep gratitude for my husband going along with me in this journey. And I just felt grateful. Yeah. That is all I felt.
Well, and I think we can all relate to something where we've been attached to an outcome, a specific outcome that we want. I mean, that could be pregnancy, a promotion, a variety of things. Yes. How did you come into a place of letting go of that outcome or accepting what was happening?
Well, when I went to see that doctor, I was in so much pain, and he had said to me, oh, this is the best thing that ever happened to you. And I was like, let me take this middle finger and let it fly. I was so angry. And what I discovered is 45 days later, I felt so good and so grateful. And I thought to myself, he was right. And what am I doing with my life? I have a husband that loves me and that went through this journey with me. I already had one child, even though I felt like the calling was for children, I just was so grateful. And that changed absolutely everything.
Well, it sounds like the gratitude became a tool to help you realize that even if your circumstances were not going to change, you could change your relationship with your circumstances.
There's no doubt about it. And I was very grateful for the journey, for the hard times, for the lows, because it made me who I was at that moment in time. And that gratitude, you cannot buy that. And you can only get that going through the trials and tribulations that everyone goes through. And then I was so very fortunate to come out on the other side with that. It was just so wonderful. But then what I didn't realize is going through this, I wasn't getting my period. And I just thought, oh, wow, I'm just detoxing so much, feeling so great. Well, I had no idea I was pregnant. And so I had the minute I let go of it all, it all came back to me 100-fold. And so the doctors were saying, oh, it's your miracle, it's your miracle. And I didn't feel like that. I felt it was meant to be. I had changed in my heart. I'd made my body open to receiving. And for the first time, we hadn't tried in 5 years. And here we were. I had a healthy baby boy at 39. And all the doctors said it was your miracle. And I just didn't feel like it was. I felt like this was meant to be because I put in what it took to get there.
Well, we can all relate to feeling pain and loss and fear. And I have to think acceptance didn't happen overnight. I mean, how did you wrestle with these big emotions that you're describing to us?
You're right. Acceptance doesn't come overnight. It's a day-to-day process. But I focused forward. I no longer was focusing on the infertility, which is a word I really don't like to say. I like to say fertility. I was no longer focusing on the fertility. I was focusing forward on my health.
So changing your focus, we talk about so much for all of us, what we focus on grows. So if we focus on what we don't have, we live with more of that. What I'm hearing you say is you were trying to think about focusing on what you do have. What were some of the, words or changes you needed to make in your own thought process as you were moving yourself through that inflection point?
Well, it's kind of funny because, I would buy these CDs or back then, you had a CD and you put it in your ears and there was this one, joy, joy, joy. And my husband, we still sing it and it's kind of corny, but it helped because joy is the answer for me, and we focused on joy. But when you change physically, you are adding more oxygen into your blood. When you add oxygen into your blood, and what I say, when you change your head and your heart, there is no way to think these negative thoughts because you have so much oxygen flowing. So it only forces you forward. And with that happening, it transforms you physically, mentally, emotionally. You have nowhere to go but forward and up and out. So that was the big change. But physically, quickly, these come right along with it, and it was life-changing.
I'll never forget the time I was sitting with a longtime group of girlfriends, and we were at the age where everybody's having struggles, but a lot of fertility struggles like you're describing. And I can see so clearly standing in my girlfriend's kitchen and I'm holding a plate, putting food on it. And one girlfriend who wanted to get pregnant more than anything and had miscarriages, just like you're describing, and couldn't, was standing next to one who was told she could never get pregnant. And the one who was told she could never get pregnant announces she's pregnant. And the one who can't bursts into tears.
Yeah.
And I almost dropped the plate.
Yeah.
And I can still see that moment because it cuts to the core. There had to be moments for you where you saw somebody else's baby, you heard somebody else's good news. How did you sit with that and find a way to be okay?
Well, it was Tomcat who got me. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes had just been dating and they got pregnant. I was like, what?
They've hardly been together and they're having a child, right?
Like, oh my gosh. Being in a better place, being positive, being grateful, and truly, I have to live my own life, my own story. And I cannot focus anything in my energy on someone else, not their intentions, not their whatever they're going through. So there is kind of a little threshold between me and whatever is happening with someone else. I always can just pray for the best and purposes for that person, for the moment, for whatever their intention is. Because like myself, all I wanted was this baby, this baby, this baby. And if I'd gotten the babies when I wanted them, who knows what I would be doing right now. Mm-hmm. And so we can have these intentions, but most of the time, if we can, the world gives us something so much bigger than we could have ever dreamed or planned ever. So, I let it go.
What about somebody who's watching right now who is in their deepest, darkest moment? I mean, you're describing feeling like all hope was lost. Mm-hmm. How do you find something to be grateful for from that deep, dark, difficult place of loss?
Hybrid work. Employees want it, employers need it, and everyone has questions. When done right, facilitating flexible work can be a win-win for everyone. Happier employees, engaged teams, and better business outcomes. Robin is here to make the logistics easy. Our all-in-one workplace experience platform helps thousands of companies reimagine their approach to work. To learn more about how we make hybrid work work, visit robinpowered.com.
It's hard. It's really hard. I had a night that I was woken up, and I really do feel like there were these three spirits in the room, and they were not nice. They did not come to help or heal me. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I was so afraid I could not move, and my husband was sleeping right next to me, and I couldn't even move half an inch to, elbow him or something. I was so frightened. And so, like my good old Irish Catholic self, I started saying the Hail Mary. I started saying, protect me. And I knew at that moment they were there to, because I was in despair. I was really in despair. I had just lost a baby at 20 weeks. It was despair. And I don't know how long that encounter lasted, but I decided at that moment I would never, ever be in despair again. That I am stronger than this, that God has given me a great life, and that at some points in time that I am just to accept, be grateful, but I was never, ever going to be in despair again, because I feel like those spirits were coming in to really create havoc, and I'm not having that. I'm just not having that.
And from a place of despair that is, and grief really, I mean, you were grieving what you had lost at a very deep level. And I mean, during this time of the pandemic, we've all lost something or someone that we hold dear. And in that grieving process, in that place where it took your breath away, what you're describing is that transformation, that healing started coming from the inside out. So looking in that direction of gratitude, What are you most grateful for now?
Everything. 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 Every high, every low, everything. And the doctor was right. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm just grateful for everything. For this moment now, for anyone who's watching that has felt that despair, the loneliness, the sorrow, and the deep sorrow, you just got to hang in and let it pass, because it will pass. But we can help ourselves to let it pass.
What did you discover from your place of deepest despair that might offer hope to someone who's living in that place of despair right now?
You know what? I discovered me. I got to the rock bottom, and when I really embraced all my imperfections, all the things I thought were wrong with me, I embraced me. And I decided to like myself, and I decided to forgive myself for all the little things that I don't like about myself. I decided to laugh it off. I started laughing more, and that brought about more joy. And so even though, sometimes I think, oh, I'm 10 pounds too much, or I've got my mortgage to pay and I've got to clean the windows, I still decided there is something in me that is worthy of being loved, of having my goals. And you know what? Just sometimes it's just going outside, getting some sunshine, breathing a deep breath down into my gut, just fresh air. And with all those things coming together, it just gave me the strength and the hope and the grit to just start turning slowly. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens one day at a time, but it is self-love and caring and laughter. Because now, I'm the first one to laugh at myself, and that makes life so much easier, because no one's perfect. And we all need each other.
Exactly.
We need each other.
Well, and I think it's a great message. That's the story of your business. You are worthy of well.
Yeah.
And before we talk about what's in these bottles right here, what is one thing, just one thing, that you are most grateful for right now?
I love purified water. I love purified water, because you know what? It makes everything better. It makes everything better. If I'm hungry, if I'm thirsty, if I'm tired, purified water, purified water, purified water. And of course, I love drinking cold pressed juice,
Which I'm guessing must have purified water after that.
You know what?
After that
It doesn't.
setup. Oh,
It doesn't. But people ask me all the time. People say all the time what is the one thing they would do to get healthier? And I think, drink more water, drink more purified water.
Now imagine my entry point here is 12 Diet Cokes a day. What's my starting point in this lineup?
Well, it's got to be the Lean Elixir down in the end.
Okay.
This is called Lean Elixir, and it is really life-giving. It has seaweed in it. It has avocado.
Seaweed?
Yes.
You want me to drink seaweed?
Yes, and I always joke and say this is the worst tasting drink we make. But here you go, try it.
Okay, moment of truth.
Yep.
It's surprisingly good. You know what surprises me? I am anticipating the taste of salt and seaweed, and what I taste is smooth and creamy with a little bit of acid. Almost, is there lemon in here?
There is lemon in there, and so there's banana, avocado, but you see all these little speckles, that is all seaweed. So you have you get it in breakfast in the morning, you have rested your digestive system at night, so it's an instant health hit to your system. And the avocado is the good fats, so it keeps your cravings down for the day. So this is a perfect way to start the day.
Well, and what I like too is this is portable, right? I mean, I could take this in the car up to my virtual office if I have a meeting.
On the go.
And I also like the messages on the back. If life is all about choices, know that you've chosen wisely. So then I get sort of a motivational speech along with this. So now imagine it's lunchtime. Where would I head next on this journey?
Well, this is the one that is a meal in meal replacement. Everything else, we're just adding in good, adding in good. But what I always say too is drink the pink, because this was an accident actually. We had some NBA players that came to us that wanted something for hydration, and they didn't want to drink coconut water, but they needed hydration. So this is coconut water, coconut oil, purified water, lemon, lime, strawberry, beet. It is incredibly good for hydration.
So this is kind of like my Gatorade.
Oh,
so if I did a
yes.
workout, for example, or it's a
Yes.
hot summer day, this is the go-to.
The way we made this was an accident. These NBA players came to us really needing hydration, and they didn't like what their trainers were offering them. So I literally was making some things up in the kitchen, and wham, I tried that and I was like, Shazam, that's it. So this is full of electrolytes, but you don't even have to be a professional athlete. This is for moms, dads, anyone breathing, because we all need hydration. So I would say anytime, day or night, pick a pink up and you've got the hydration, you are gonna start feeling better.
So this is like a healthier alternative to a sports drink.
I would say much healthier than a
Well,
sports
this
drink.
one I want to try. I mean, I think
Yeah.
you had me at strawberries, right?
yeah.
This seems like the perfect summer day drink here.
But make no mistake, pink is serious business, serious hydration.
Oh, that's delicious. And you can taste the fruit. And even if you don't like coconut, you don't get that forward. What it makes me think, though, is you might be able to mix this with something for after 5. I mean, is there a juicing version of happy hour?
Well, health is all about moderation.
Yes.
So we don't want to go too high or too low. So we brought and made some pink vodka. And so this is our 200 ml, and this is a Simplicity cold pressed cocktail, and we are the only one in the country that can actually mix a cold pressed juice with an alcohol. So this one is a Hotel Tango vodka, and you'll have to try some of this too, Karen.
All right. Well,
Are you 21?
we should have done an ID check. I mean, obviously, I'm drinking my way to better health, one sip at a
you
time,
are.
right?
Yes. We say healthier and happier in every sip.
Yes. Healthier and happier in every sip. I like that. Well, and what we've really been talking about, and this is delicious. It's your perfect summer day beverage and not full of other mixers and artificial chemicals. What you're illustrating for us here is that we can all choose one, right? You could choose one meal to replace. You could choose one alcoholic beverage to replace. How do you coach someone who maybe has 100 pounds overweight and hasn't exercised in a while? I mean, what are some other one step at a time approaches to move toward better health?
Well, one thing I really think, and when we talk to people, people are perfect just as they are. If they want to make some changes, great. But I do want to really stress the biggest thing about healing and health, and it's just to me, I'm not a doctor, I don't treat, diagnose, cure anyone or anything, but it is about loving and forgiving ourselves. Then, if you want to add in some great new habits, what are the things you like? Because there's not one, A, B, C program for everyone. If there was, we'd all be doing it. But what do you like? What are the foods you like? What are the tastes that you like? But I always say, you know what? Start with purified water. Start with 70, 80 ounces of purified water every day and be intentional. What is real food? What is real food? So I would change out a snack per day with an apple, with an orange, and honestly, I would, if you're able, I would put in a Simplicity cold pressed juice, because when I was going through my health issues, I was literally drinking an 8 ounce for $15, and I'd want to throw up. And so I decided when I was going to make Simplicity, I want to be like a bartender. I want to make them light craveable. I don't want to drink my juices with a fork, and I want them to be something as a treat so that I'm always craving them. I'm always looking forward to them because they become part of your lifestyle. So it is things that you want to change that can be part of your lifestyle. So, and it really just depends what you like. And it depends on what time of the day, your activity level. So, you know, I always say shop with your eyes. We want to make your refrigerator look like the Saks Fifth Avenue shoe department. Colors, textures, choices, and they all fit.
Well, sometimes the simplest choice is the strongest choice and even the kindest choice. And any kind of change that we make begins with commitment. And my question is, what could you commit to yourself to change today, even if it's one sip toward improving your health and getting yourself back on the journey to getting well from the inside out? Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Cheers to you.